Got my Diet Coke, ready to talk. Okay, so, oh my God, first off, I'm breaking out. I have to shave every day at this job, and my skin is not having it. Ugh. Last night at my job, my manager was like, Paul, you have like a little bit of chocolate. I'm like, it's a pimple, and I will quit. Enough. Anyway, this week I'm going to try something new. I'm going to give the answer to last week's episode at the beginning and see if that works a little better. And then I'll go into the next story. So last week I told the story of me almost being kidnapped. The answer to last week's Paulie and the plot twist was option number one. He turned that corner. I ran as fast as I could back to that store, and I never spoke about it ever again. I don't know why. I just acted like it didn't happen. I remember when I went into the store, I was very nervous that he would still be outside and that we would all kind of like be in some sort of trouble. But still, I just never said a word, and I'm not quite sure why that is. But that kind of followed me all through my life. I think even still to this day, like I just kind of like struggle silently and I don't really say much. And clearly that was still the case when I was in third grade. So, yeah, if you guessed option number one, you were correct. This week, I'm going to tell a story that happened to me when I was in seventh grade. The first day of seventh grade, to be exact. So, my voice, I'm like, the way our school worked was there's like 5 or 6 different elementary schools, and they all joined together at middle school. I'm not sure how that works for everyone, but that's how it was in our town. So the first day of seventh grade, you're split up from everyone that you've gone to school with for like the first 6 years. It was the end of the first day, last period, and it was science class, which like, ugh, I hate science class. I never was good at it. I don't know what it was. I just wasn't interested in it, like cells and stuff. I'm like, ugh, yawn. Tell me about Brittany. Like, where's Brittany 101? Because that's the class I need. Something important. It was like a lab table, and you were assigned a partner. Now, I'm not going to say who this was because I don't want to, like, put him on blast. But for some reason, being the first day of class, this kid had it out for me. I had never met him before in my entire life. We had never had any interactions. Even though it was a small town, I had never even seen him before. Uh, I don't know. It was just what happened in this class will forever be a mystery to me. I don't quite know why he did this, what his motive was. I don't know. Still to this day, I've never really talked to him after. And after this situation happened, we had to spend the rest of the semester being, or maybe the quarter, one of the two, being lab partners after this happened. And I remember we would literally sit at the same table and we would do our labs completely separately. We would never work together. We never talked ever again after this. And we sat at the same table for the first quarter. Completely awkward. I was a little more reserved, definitely as I am now, not as outgoing. With my friends, I would be, but if I didn't know you, I was very like, I remember going into the first day of seventh grade, I had duct tape on my glasses because my glasses were always broken. Literally, they were always broken and they never got fixed. I don't know why. But literally, it was like I would fall asleep in them and I would wake up and this arm would be like off and then I would have to duct tape it. And it would be like that for like almost the entire school year. The kid with the duct tape. What a brand. Honestly, iconic. This is so sad, but I would remember like my last name starts with a V. So it would like they would usually seat you alphabetically. So like in some classrooms, I would be all the way to the right. In some classrooms, I would be all the way to the left, depending on how the teacher started the alphabet. And like this year specifically, I had duct tape on the right side. So I remember just praying that like the V's were going to be on the right, because in my mind, everyone would forget that I had duct tape because it was facing the wall. Meanwhile, in my other classes where I was on the left, it was like the duct tape was exposed to the entire room. It's so funny to think about that stuff now, because now I'm like, I don't give a shit. I have duct tape. What? Come at me. Come at Paulie. Paulie in the pump. Chest pump. So it was my first. This kid was sitting next to me. And again, never didn't know him. And the teacher was like explaining the rules and how the semester's gonna go. You know how that first day of class is like handouts, you get your textbook. She explains like, here's the syllabus. And you don't actually start doing any work until like the next day or whatever. Now, I was like pretty much a straight A student. I hardly ever got detention. I don't know if I ever had detention, like ever. I don't know if I was a teacher's pet or just like well liked. I mean, people call it teacher's pet, but like, is it a bad thing if you're just well liked? God, sue me. In third grade, my teacher would like take me to the mall on the weekends, which like now is like, God, probably like a crime. But I loved it. It was fabulous. Like, I always just loved my teachers. They loved me. So I'm sitting there listening to the teacher, and I'm sitting, thankfully, on the right side of the class. So my duct tape is concealed. I'm feeling very cute. I remember I wore like overalls. Um, oh my God. I wore overalls my first day. I felt so fierce. I got them at the Salvation Army because that's where we did our clothes shopping because we didn't have much money. And I just felt so cute. Like, I would like undo one strap and be like, yes. I seriously felt like I was serving in those overalls. Like, you couldn't tell me nothing. So I'm sitting there, and this kid is to my left. And the teacher is on the left side of the room, and she's about to start handing out textbooks. And she is like explaining the rules, whatever. And I'm listening and I'm looking. And this kid is to my left, and he's just staring at me. The teacher is like going over all the rules, and this is the kid. I'm completely uncomfortable. I don't know why he's staring at me. It's literally me and the wall. Like, why are you looking over here? And I'm literally just looking at the teacher, acting like it's not happening. Now, he's literally like right here. And I'm just acting like no one's staring at me. And I'm just like, I'm not engaging. I'm nervous inside. I'm literally almost sweating. I'm like, why is this kid staring at me? What is going on? What did I do? I don't know what's happening, but I'm just totally disengaging. So after a few minutes of me not engaging, I think it was like, must have been bothering him that I wasn't like taking the bait or something. So he then proceeds to start kicking me under the table. Why is this kid kicking me? I'm like literally just sitting here minding my business. It's our first day of school. Like, I've never met this kid. What could I have possibly done to like deserve this? And I'm starting to get like really internally like anxious and worried and feel like sick to my stomach. And still inside, I'm literally just looking over at the teacher. She's handing out books, and I'm like not engaging at all still. He's literally staring at me, literally kicking me under the table, and I'm not engaging. I'm acting like he does not exist, which it's like so sad. I'm like, what? Like, why would you just be like, yo, knock it off, like cut it out? But I'm just completely acting like he's not there and I'm not here, and there's a whole other fantasy world. Well, this goes on for like a good like 3 minutes. And so finally, I move my feet from like under my chair to the side so that he can no longer reach my legs. And he still continues to kick my chair. And I'm still completely disengaging. Inside, dying, but acting like everything's fine. Everything's cool. He then says to me, if you don't stop kicking me, I'm going to call the teacher over here and you're going to get in trouble. Now, I had never in my life been in a situation like this. One, I never got in trouble with the teachers. Two, I was not like a physical kid. I hated horseplay. I hated like wrestling. Oh God, it was like, get me out of this headlock. Why are you touching me? You're fucking up my hair. Like, stop. Like, personal space, honey. Personal space. So all I said to him, oh my God, I was like so naive and sweet and like this innocent little boy. Like, oh my God, now I'd be like, get the, mm, mm-mm. Now I'd be like, you want a kick, bitch? I'll show you a kick. I literally just turned to him and I was like, you're the one kicking me. And he's like, no, you're kicking me. And if you don't stop, I'm going to tell the teacher. So I was like getting like literally almost like on the verge of like hyperventilating because again, I'm like, oh my God, I'm getting in trouble. I'm the teacher's gonna believe him over me, and she's gonna believe that I was kicking him. And like, I've never in my life done something like that. Like, why would I ever just randomly kick this kid that I'm sitting next to? So she's currently handing out textbooks. So she would like turn around and grab a book and then read her list and be like, Paul, whatever. And then like I would raise my hand and she would come over and like hand me the book. So every time she would turn to grab a book, he would raise his hand. And then every time she would like turn back around to hand it to the kid, he would lower it. Well, every time he raised his hand, I got more and more and more anxious. At some point, something could catch her eye and be like, oh, that kid across the room is like raising his hand. So I was like completely like stressing out, like internally combusting that like I'm gonna get in trouble. And I'm just like thinking, what did I do to you? What did I do to you to deserve this on the first day of school? Like, still, I'm like, why? Why? And I've never talked to this kid since. I've only seen him like we were not close friends. After this, we never even spoke again. And I still think to myself today, why? Why did you do this to me? Like, what did I ever do to you? I didn't even know you. Such an asshole. Like, honestly, hope he's dead. I mean, whatever. Honestly, if he is, who cares? Um, just kidding. Relax. Just a joke. He kept raising his hand. She would turn around and he did it like 10 times. And I just got to the point where like I hit my breaking point and I was so stressed out. I was so internally anxious. I felt sick to my stomach. Again, like I had never been in a situation like this before where like, of course, kids had bullied me. Of course, I was called the F word and stuff like that. Like it wasn't like I was never teased for like being girly and stuff like that, but like never to the extent of someone just like sitting next to me on the first day of school and literally kicking me for no reason. Like never to that extreme. And again, seventh grade, you're like, what, 12? I don't even know. 11? I don't know. I can't do math. But it was just so much for me to process. And again, like I didn't have any friends in my classes. So what did little Paulie do after he hit his breaking point? Option number one, I raised my hand, I kept it up. The teacher said yes, and I said, he is kicking me under the table, and he got suspended for 2 days. Option number two, I started to cry. The fire alarm went off. We all lined up, went down for the fire drill, and no one ever noticed that I was crying. Saved by the bell. Or option number three, the teacher noticed that I was upset. She asked me if I was okay. I said, can I please go to the bathroom? I went to the bathroom. I collected myself, came back in, and he and I just never ever spoke about it ever again. Those are the three options. Let me know in the comments below which option you think happened, and I will give the correct answer on the next Paulie and the plot twist. All right, that's all for now. Please, 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 let's be kind to one another. It is a crazy world right now, a very scary time, and just be kind. It costs nothing to be kind. All right, bye. Want more Paulie in the public? Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe.